Guys,
You're going to call in just a minute.
Yeah.
So hang up and call all over again?
Yes. Right.
Hello, everybody. We are live. We're live, everybody. We're live on all kinds of devices right now. We are streaming to completely live. Welcome, everybody, to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. We are streaming to live and completely free on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And we are very excited to bring the cast of Dragon Ball Z out here for you. If you're as big a nerd and as big a fan of anime and Dragon Ball as I am, you know there have been many dubs of this. There's the original subs. There's been dubs. We got a lot of the OGs, if I may, of the Dragon Ball cast. We've got some new folks as well. They're all great. They're all amazing. They've all brought to life some of our favorite characters from the anime world and the Dragon Ball world. And we're excited to bring them out in just a few seconds. A couple of quick housekeeping things. Again, this is Wizard World Virtual Experiences. We are streaming these panels to you completely free, but there are some paid experiences that you can interact with as well. If you would like to participate in those, head to wizardworldvirtual.com. Again, that is wizardworldvirtual.com, where you can purchase one-on-one video chats, autographs, and video recorded messages with your favorite cast members from the Dragon Ball universe. You know, we keep putting the Z up there, but let's be honest. It's Dragon Ball. It's Dragon Ball Z. It's Dragon Ball Kai, Broly, Super. I mean, my gosh, the whole universe. And we've got them all here for you today. So we're very excited. So definitely take advantage of that at not Dragon Ball, wizardworldvirtual.com. If you're looking for past memorabilia from our past virtual experiences and our physical conventions, head to the wizardworldvault.com. It is our best attempt at a convention floor, Comic-Con convention floor. We've got works of art and amazing signed autographs from actors and casts from our past virtual experiences and past conventions. And also, for the very first time, we are going to be hosting a costume contest virtually. It's going to be insane. It's a staple of our shows, usually every Saturday night at around 9 p.m. And that's what we're doing tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We've got folks that have submitted their Dragon Ball cosplays from around the nation and maybe even around the world. This is your last chance to submit. So we've got our judges, Night Mage and Bebe Alcaide, are checking your submissions now. We're also going to be joined by Tiffany and Cynthia. They are going to be judging your Dragon Ball cosplays, and we're going to decide who our first place is. First place will get a signed print from the entire cast. It's bonkers. It's like over $200 value. So a signed print from the entire cast. So if you haven't done that yet, please sign up for those, for that costume contest. But that's enough anime. Let's bring our amazing cast out here. We've been having some fun technical things, but that is part of the fun of these virtual experiences. She has been with Goku since the very beginning. And this actor has been with the Funimation dub since the very beginning as well. Scientist, gadgeteer, voice of Bulma. Please bring out Tiffany Bomer.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
We did it. Great background, Tiffany. I can see your, and I like it. Oh, the 4-star. The middle ones are always my favorite. The 4 and the 5 are like my favorite Dragon Ball.
The first one that we find.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's cute. That's adorable. And I like it that you got the OG Bulma in the house. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, y'all.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about everyone's favorite dub. Like, start chatting out. Obviously, we've got some of the OG dubs in the house right now, but you know, there's some different ones out there, and so we'd love to just chat a little bit about that. Let's bring out the rest of our cast. Also with Bulma since the beginning as young Goku, and then obviously appropriately taking over young Gohan. Let's hear it for Stephanie Nadolny. That's the Nadolny.
Nadolny, you said it right.
Nadolny. Stephanie, get out here. Let's see you.
I don't see her in
It's okay.
In the green room.
Oh my gosh, is she completely gone altogether?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Quinn, she might have dropped off for a second. I saw a couple people trying to pop in. I see that's her. That's Dan Bradford, who might be associated with Stephanie. Let's see if we can get her out here right now. It's not Dan Bradford. It's definitely Nadalny. Let's see if that's her. There she is, Stephanie.
Yay.
Stephanie, you're here.
I'm here.
Quinn, can you? We don't want Stephanie to be known as Dan. We want to know her as the true Stephanie Nadalny. So if you could change her name there, that would be awesome. But Stephanie, thank you for coming here. Young Goku, young Gohan, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We've got the whole we got a bunch of the OG cast. Let's keep it rolling with the OG Frieza in the house. Also Frieza in Dragon Ball Z, Baba in Dragon Ball, then returns in Dragon Ball Super. Let's get it for Linda Young.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, gosh. Oh, see? That's the Frieza I know and love. I love that Frieza. No offense to the Kai cast, but I love your Frieza, Linda. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here. All right, next up, the OG Heavenly Martial Arts Master, the Turtle Hermit, the God of Martial Arts, Master Roshi. Let's hear it for Mike McFarlane. Oh, God.
Oh, here he is.
Hey, everybody.
What's up? That was good. That's a good anime move. The close up and then the pull back. Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. Oh man. All right. And listen, the Dragon Ball universe is so expansive and so huge, and we've loved all of the actors that have come in and done these dubs. This gentleman took over the role of Ginyu for our most recent series, Captain Ginyu. Let's hear it for our Bruce Elliott.
Oh, wait.
Our Bruce.
Ginyu!
Yeah. There it is. Ginyu, such a good character that's just always there, through the different sagas, coming in and just causing problems. Thank you so much.
Sweetheart of a guy.
A sweetheart. A guy had an own saga unto himself. So great. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, you came in before I even introduced you, but that's okay. The princess of the Fire Mountain, the daughter of the Ox King, the OG Chi-Chi. Let's hear it for Cynthia Kranz.
Hooray!
And my
I'm
mom.
sorry I called in early. We've had some
Yeah.
issues over on my end.
And I think we've got everybody out here. There's an iPhone calling in too, but we're not going to bring that person in because we don't know who that is. So
I'm not sure who iPhone played.
I think that might be Cynthia's audio. Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for being here. This is amazing. A lot of the as Tiffany has noted in her name, a lot of the OG voices. But then, our Bruce, you've done amazing voices throughout your entire career in anime, and then also took over. And I think there's there's always a fan. Not argument, but there's a lot of fan which is the best dub, which what's going on, and I just think that they're all beautiful for their different styles and the actors that brought them to life. And so we thank you all for being here. But I just want to kick things off and we're going to get some fan questions. So if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, please submit your questions at Wizard World Virtual. Put them in the chat, and then we will get to your questions. But I just want to start off. My gosh. Dragon Ball as a Japanese manga and anime series started in the 80s. Went from the 80s to the 90s. Then most of you took over and did our first dub in the 90s. And then here we are still in these most recent seasons within the last couple of years of Dragon Ball Super. The series has lasted for over 30 years. It's crazy. And 30 to 40 years, and still as popular as ever. I'd love to just kick it around the room. Maybe Tiffany will start with you as the OG Bulma, and then we'll kick it around. What do you think about the characters and the writing of this series has just made it so long lasting? These 30 years, it's insane.
Yeah, it's really cool too because I did the dub, and I've watched the show because I wanted to see my voice on TV or whatever. But I have a new experience now because I have a 4-year-old, and my husband, when I met him, had never seen an episode, and they're now on the Cell Saga. So they're just now rewatching the whole thing. And I think I'm almost enjoying it more this time around than I did originally actually doing the work or watching it back just to see me doing my acting thing. You know what I mean? They really enjoy the characters, and I'm getting a better appreciation for the work that we did so many years ago. and the fact that it has lasted this long and it does transfer very well from generation to generation. I think that's why it's got the longevity that it does.
Yeah, no matter who has voiced the characters, the heart of the series has stayed the same. But obviously, we loved all of your interpretations of it. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else have a reason or a feeling why they think that the series has lasted so long and has just been eternal? If you,
I think it was really the first anime that came here that people started watching, and so many people will tell us they ran home from school right away so they could see it on Cartoon Network, and then they're adults now and they're handing it down to their kids, and it's just like a big Dragon Ball family. Everyone just loves it for some reason, so it's great.
it's a family for sure. Yeah, yeah. Stephanie, what thoughts on the longevity of the series and its popularity?
Same thing. It's like, people come out and they're like, hey, I grew up watching this. I helped you with this and that. And I was going through some, troubling times. And that's the most important thing to me, is that there's a purpose there. There's like, wow, I mean, just what little I did to, voice this character made so much of a life for these other people that needed that. They needed to have something to latch onto, whether it be just like a little escape from human life. And so yeah, like, and then like Linda was saying, there's people that come and they watch the show, and then they grow up and they have kids of their own and they watch it with their kids. It becomes like a part of their life. And so it makes me feel good to know that I'm touching people's lives, even if I don't even realize I'm doing it at the time. But now I kind of look at it and like, wow, this is really cool. Like, this is really helping people. And there are kids that are, they feel lonely, or they need something to latch onto, and they latch onto Dragon Ball Z, or the video games, and it becomes part of their life. So it makes me feel like, wow, this is really cool. I have a purpose, and I'm helping kids, or there's college kids, and some of the first fans I met, yeah, they were 8 or 9 or 10, but then some of them are in their teens, and then they grow up and share the show with their kids, and it becomes part of their lives. So
I like the people that have tattoos of our character. I'm like,
yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Dedication, man. Like,
Right?
that's the best Bulma I've ever seen.
On their leg, here's Goku, here's Super Saiyan Goku, here's Vegeta over here, and it's like, wow.
And that's not going away for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. That stuff is
Well, and that's the theme of the series, right? It's generational. It's about passing on, your legacy to the generations after you. We start with Goku as a very young boy, and then we grow up with Goku, then we see Gohan, and then we see their children. Oh my gosh. And that's and then we see them grow in different power levels, obviously. And that's what the series is all about. So I think as fans, we go through that together with you, you know what I mean? With the characters, for sure. Cynthia, Chi-Chi, an important female character that comes in super early. And again, at the time there was characters were being portrayed very as they were, but the nuances you gave to Chi-Chi were great. What do you think about her that really just is long lasting and has continued to make the series last?
I think it's interesting that we age. Like, we really, she's an old lady now.
Yeah.
She's got grandchildren. I just think what I hear the most from my fans is that what resonates with them is the strong mother. I get beat up on for hating on Goku, but I think everybody, has their own opinion, but I can imagine why she might be a little put out. It's kind of a bait and switch. She knew what she was marrying him. It's like marrying a rock star and then wanting him to get a day job. But I think it comes from a place of, wanting safety and security and not wanting her family to die. So I don't know. And also she does 5 different emotions in one paragraph. And I think maybe that keeps some of the interest going. I don't know. I think it's fun. And I think it's really interesting that we age. Not a lot of shows have the characters start young and get old.
It's one of the beautiful things of the series, and one of the best things that I think I've seen in the different edits and the different dubs is that there's different variations on it. You know what I mean? We see them age faster, slower. You know what I mean? But throughout, we're ultimately seeing like at least 3 or 4 different generations of characters, which is super cool.
It's funny though, Roshi doesn't age. He just
That's and that was my segue. Yeah, that was no, Tiffany, you picked it up perfectly. Yeah, Stephanie, what you were gonna say about Roshi? Let's dig in on Roshi a little bit here.
Yoo-hoo, Master Roshi. There's a girl downstairs.
You want to see my panties?
Oh,
whatever. Feed me.
Starting in on Roshi when I was in my 20s portraying an old man, I have plenty of leeway to keep playing the character. I can probably catch up to his age as long as they keep making the show.
My 4-year-old's favorite character is Roshi, but we'll have that conversation when she's a little older.
I think that might be a good idea.
Well, Mike, talk about that a little bit, because obviously we're in a generation, luckily and very hopefully, that we're kind of putting that kind of thing aside, right? We're saying that maybe like some of those like things that and suggestions that males make towards women are not appropriate, but there is a certain tradition, if you will, and I don't even know if that's the right word, in anime, and it's not that Master Roshi is being offensive, it's just like the style of the character. I don't know, I would love to hear you just talk about sort of those early days of doing the voice, and yeah, he's a horny character, but there is I'd love to hear your sort of interpretation on it and sort of how you took it.
They took a different direction, on screen and everything in Super. They kind of like,
yes.
That is the old way, and we are beyond that now.
Agreed.
As far as anything else that ever happened on screen, I tried to just be honest with the material that was there and do whatever was asked of me. And if what the character is doing, whatever the character is doing on screen, be it fighting, be it being a weirdo, however you want to do it, I have to give the honest performance of what I see in order to make it work. So.
And I think that's awesome. It's the honesty that makes it come through, you know what I mean, and not feel as creepy as it could. You know what I mean? It feels
the fact that
genuine.
He nosebleed every time he acts that way is kind of redeeming in a way. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's gross, and now you're gross because now you have a nosebleed. So there you go. That's what you get.
Well, and again, and Tiffany, maybe you can speak on this, but Bulma and the women fight back, which I think is important. You know what I mean? They are strong characters that are calling the simple, the Saiyans out and the humans out, the Earthlings out, and saying like, that's not appropriate, how dare you, kind of thing. And again, it's in this heightened sense. But yeah, like early, and Bulma especially, like sort of early on in the series, sort of reactions to portraying that.
As a tactic. I mean, she uses it as a tactic, as if she was going to war, and that was just her. That was her battle armor. Literally, was her sexuality. But the fact that I got to play such a strong, empowered woman that was so intelligent, but was also in touch with that femininity and that female side of her, and being able to use that, to get her way through life. Hopefully we don't have to do that anymore. But at the time, that's what worked for her. So, I think the dichotomy of her femininity versus her intelligence really weighs checks and balances. You know what I mean? So
agreed. Yeah, 100%. Stephanie, you were kind of like agreeing and nodding your head along the background. Thoughts on portraying, again, what my favorite part of the series are the choices to choose people identifying as women to portray male characters, because I think it just really amplifies a lot of the character. But yeah, thoughts on playing the young young Goku and young Gohan, sort of going through that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just a little kid, just I got to live this like little boy and this little life. And he didn't really understand, he just wanted to train and be good. And he just wanted to be a, strong and like a good guy. And like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be strong and like, I'm going to be a strong fighter like my dad and whatever. And so, excuse me. So like there was this stuff going on and he was completely innocent to the whole thing, whether it be, okay, find me a pretty girl. And, Goku didn't know what that meant. I mean, Goku's like, okay, this is a girl. That's a girl, right? They're all the same. He pats them and it's like, well, that's a girl and that's a boy, but that's all he knew. So, there's a lot of comedic stuff going on in that Dragon Ball series where, Goku is like, Master Rosie's like, go get me one of these. And he just shows him the picture. He's like, okay. So he just runs out and gets what he thinks is a girl and brings it back. And it adds to a lot of the comedic stuff, you know, the comic relief to Dragon Ball. And he really doesn't know the difference, you know, which makes him so lovable. It's like they're white, black, orange, green. Like there's no discrimination at all. I mean, he just thinks, okay, that's a girl and a boy. And he thinks all the girls are pretty. All the boys are just like that, you know?
Well, yeah, girl. I mean,
it's fun.
Yeah, girl in the very early episodes, girl is the same thing as car, right? He doesn't understand the concept. Yeah, of technology, and so it's the same, things he hasn't seen before. It's true naivete, you know.
I'm not a monster.
I know, and especially when he meets Bulma for the first time, and he's like, "No, who are you?" And he fights her, like he doesn't understand that it's just a girl, and he's like, no, we're gonna get food, and I've got the fish, and we're gonna go eat, but who are you? And he's so innocent, you know.
I'm gonna be off the side of this mountain into that pond right in front of you, and it's not gonna bother me at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, Linda, did you start to say something? Just a reaction to that, to what Stephanie was saying?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking how Baba always called her brother an idiot. And Baba,
Right.
let's see, she wasn't smart or feminine, but she had her crystal ball.
You have the most androgynous characters on the show.
I know, right?
No, and that's the coolest part, I think. And when you watch the early Dragon Ball series, you know, you really see those simplistic the storylines and the characters, but it really set the stage, like you all mentioned so far, for a lot of the animes and mangas to come, were these storylines, you know, that we saw. Bruce, I want to get you in here as well, because another well, you a prominent voice actor on other anime series and mangas, and then you come in and take over a voice role. And this is actually a specific question from the fans. So this is from Deb Richardson, and then we're going to get to a lot of fan questions.
But I know Deb. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Deb wants to know from you specifically, you know, how you got your role of Ginyu, and then were you afraid, or, you know, was there any trepidation coming in and taking over a role that had been, you know, like had been admired by fans, being portrayed by another actor? And this is from Deb, and I'd love to hear it sort of coming into it. Yeah,
I was terribly ignorant of all of that. I knew Bryce Armstrong slightly, right? Who was he the original one.
Yep. That's who took over.
No, I was really ignorant of all of that stuff, and I knew about Dragon Ball Z actually before I started at Funimation. That was 2003, but I'd only seen very, very little of it, and I knew some of my actor friends had been doing some voices for Funimation and worked on DBZ, and I thought that would be really cool. No, I just went in an audition. They were looking for somebody, you know, similar to what Bryce had done, but I clearly recall my audition for the role of Captain Ginyu, and it was how I introduced myself when you introduced us just a little while ago. It was me standing in front of a mic going, Ginyu! And I forget who it was. Mike, who was directing back then? I think it was out at the original Okratron. And they went, okay, that's it. Yeah, you got it. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Probably Sabbath.
You're the guy.
Right.
So, no, I didn't know. What do I know? I don't. And why this series is so popular? No idea. Because Ginyu's not in maybe 24 episodes tops. What? Why do people bother to watch the rest of them? Ginyu's not on all the rest of those episodes. I don't get it.
Well, and Bryce, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here, because we also talked to the voice cast of Assassination Classroom and My Hero Academia, which I know you did voices, very popular characters in as well. And again, they all of those creators of these more recent popular shows always credit back to DBZ. You know, everyone always says my influence as a director, creator, like designer, artist was DBZ. You know what I mean? Is there something that you think, having done all three of the, like one classic series that still goes on today with Super and Broly, and then doing these new series that are more popular, that sticks out to you in Dragon Ball? Is there a particular thing, I don't know, that you think, R. Bruce, that stands out to you in Dragon Ball as opposed to those other ones? I know this is a heavy question, but
I'm not sure I'm the one you want to ask about that. I've had a very, very little bit of something in Assassination Classroom and in
Hero Academia.
And My Hero. Yeah, just I'm barely in those. I'm much more a major character in Dragon Ball, and I'm not really a major character in that. But
sure.
I'd like to think I'm a major supporting character in that. Maybe Mike.
Yeah, Mike. I mean, Mike, again, done a ton of work as well. Obviously, Master Roshi throughout the ages. Yeah, anything that you think that, besides it being the original, which may be the answer ultimately, right? That it set the stage and it sort of set the bar. But do you think there are things in Dragon Ball that still resonate that these other series have continued to pick up on and kind of grow on?
Well, I think it might be, not necessarily, the original. We had Speed Racer and all sorts of things have come to America over the years.
Right. Sure.
But as far as like the way shots are set up and archetypes and builds up to fights and storylines and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff that's in Dragon Ball that you continue to see happen in other anime.
Yeah.
And whether or not Dragon Ball was necessarily first at it, they were really good at it. So it is something that you can look back to and see a lot of modern influence, how it was influential to a lot of modern series and shows.
Yeah, and even films. I know the Wachowski brothers, who again did the film version of Speed Racer, also took a lot of their influences for the fights in Matrix, based off of Dragon Ball. I know there's a ton of filmmakers that go back and say like they set their shots based off of the fighting sequences. R. Bruce, you mentioned were you gonna know
that? I had
that's cool. And I apologize for misspeaking. The Wachowski sisters have and that's my apologies. But yeah, the Wachowski sisters have spoken on that influence, and a lot of filmmakers really about the fight sequences coming from Dragon Ball and being inspired by. But R. Bruce talked a little bit about his audition. A question coming from Beth Langley, and really and also the Fresh Prince of Cyan's, which is a great a great handle. A little bit about we heard a little bit from R. Bruce, but a little bit about your early auditions for Dragon Ball, or just really about your early start getting into voice acting. Tiffany, maybe we'll start with you, and then we'll kind of make our way around.
I won't go into my big long story. If you want that, you can do the one-on-one chat with me, because it's a very hilarious, fascinating. It takes place with failing a math class and breaking into Chris Sabat's, like all that. But you can get that story in my one-on-one chat. I will say that a question that I continue to answer is that I was an actress that auditioned for an anime show, not an anime fan that became a voice actor.
Nice.
And I knew Chris Sabat. I was in the right place at the right time. However, I went to the callback auditions, and I read for 7 different voices. And when I walked out, I didn't even read for Chris. I read for Barry Watson, who was our original producer. And he came out and he shook my hand, like literally came out of the booth, shook my hand and said, "You're a very talented actress. I could really see you in any of these roles." And I'm thinking, don't call us, we'll call you, but don't give up on your dreams, kid. You got it, and I didn't think I'd hear back. And then 2 weeks later, I got the call from Sabat that was like, "Is Tiffany Bulma Vollmer there?" And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "Did you hear what I said?" And I'm like, "Tiffany something Bulmer." And he was like, "Yeah, Bulma, that's your new character on Dragon Ball Z." And I was like, "Okay." And I went in, and we were doing we were on Namek, and the planet is exploding. And I hadn't really done a whole lot of research on the show at that point, because voice acting is different. It's better to be malleable for your director than kind of have too much of an idea. So, we were building this character together as a team.
Sure.
This wasn't me coming in with my own ideas and like making all the magic happen. And I was very influenced by Barry Watson's version of Bulma, which has taken a very different turn recently. But in the original, when I got cast, I was going off of what we were building together. And, it just, I thought it was over. I thought Planet Namek is exploding. And that was my great opportunity to be a voice actor. And hopefully I'll get another audition some other time. And that was it. Then we went back and did Dragon Ball, and I was like Ron Burgundy. I'm like, I'm kind of a big deal, you know. Like I didn't know that it was going to be this thing that it was. I just thought I was getting my first professional acting job outside of college.
And Tiffany, you actually took over as well, right? It wasn't they had already dubbed some of the first few second season, right? And then I think you came in on the third. Is that
No. Well, I mean, so I guess the Canada cast or whatever, I'm not sure. So Canada cast, they had recorded some things, but it was never, to my knowledge, it was not released.
Got it.
So when we started in Namek, we went back to the very beginning of Dragon Ball while we were recording Z, and did the entire. So I was Bulma. I played her from the age of 16 in Dragon Ball to the age of 45 in GT, or so that's cool. What we're saying. She was about that age. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've played her whole life except for Super.
Yeah, the OG Bulma in the house. So awesome. Speaking of the OG Bulma, let's get the OG Goku and Gohan young versions in here. Stephanie, tell us a little bit about your the start as a voice actor and then your continued career as these two iconic characters.
Yeah, I mean, like I was like she said, I was at like Bulma said, Tiffany. I was at the right place at the right time, and whenever I auditioned, I mean, I happened to know the right people. I was singing in a show band that traveled all over the United States, Vince Vance and the Valiants, and then there was some stuff going on in Denton with Brave Combo, which is like a polka crazy world music band, and they were selected to do some music for some properties that were already there at Funimation. And so I was there to just kind of sing, backups and stuff. And then when I met, Barry Watson, we just kind of exchanged cards and it was kind of a marketing thing, hey, here, industry. And then when the auditions came, I just assumed, oh yeah, maybe I could audition for a female character. So I went in and auditioned for Poir and Bulma and Chi-Chi and a few others. And then they're like, well, why don't you try as the little kid voice or a little boy? I was kind of like, what? Okay. What would I sound like if I was a little boy? And it's kind of like, okay. So I just gave my rendition of what a little boy would sound like, just a little raspy little kid. And it took, and they liked it. And I remember getting the message, like Tiffany said, on my answer machine, you're the voice of, we would like for you to play the voice of Gohan. It's a very big character. Da, da, da. I remember being so excited, like, okay, because I did voiceovers and stuff on like a little, cassette tape when I was little, and just taped everything I could hear and like would like mimic stuff. And I didn't know there was a job involved or there was like a, something going on later in life that I could do this. So it was really cool. It was like, oh wow, okay, I'm a little voice of a little kid and little boy that I could never be. And it was fun because it was really innocent and cute, and I love Makita, Momic, like comedic stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to look for the word, like comedic stuff, and he was could be the little boy that I never got to live as myself, and so and so I was really excited about it. I didn't realize it was going to be such a big deal. I didn't know that it was like a big deal in all over the world, in Japan or whatever, this is
they like us a lot in Australia too. It's crazy. I'm like,
and it's like, what's going on here? And so I really thought that I'd be like, okay, I'll be a girl voice or Bulma or Chi-Chi or Poir or something, and no, they wanted me to be little kid voice. So getting cast as Kid Gohan as the raspy little boy, and then getting cast as Goku as a little boy was like, okay, well, we'll change it a little bit, but they're related, so they can sound a little bit alike. So that was really interesting too. So I was very happy to be a part of that as well, as far as the Dragon Ball series and the Dragon Ball GT.
Awesome. Thank you. Cynthia, Stephanie mentioned trying out for Chi-Chi. Obviously, you are Chi-Chi. And you became, did you bounce audition-wise? Did you take on a couple of roles during auditions and then get Chi-Chi? I'd love to hear your sort of story and how you got that iconic character.
Well, so a friend of mine placed the original cattle call ad in the Dallas Observer, and he kept bothering me to go do it. And I just... It took the third time because I just didn't think I had a chance. I had no experience. Finally went in, and they just showed me a snippet of each of the female characters. and let me read the sites and then let me audition for them. And then I went home, and then a couple of weeks later, on my 30th birthday, I found out I got cast as Chi-Chi.
Happy birthday.
And then, but what he didn't tell me was that my character wouldn't make an entrance for about 3 months. So every month I would call him and go, did I make up? And I got, like, I'm used to getting cast and starting. So I kept calling to make sure I didn't just wish it. So.
Okay, I can top that in 15 seconds or less. I got cast as Whitebeard in One Piece. I did one episode, and then I didn't do any more for 5 years. So got you beat on that one.
And I think the difference between my experience and I know Tiffany's was that I was supposed to try to match the Canadian actresses' voices as close as possible. And their version of Chi-Chi did not yell and scream and go berserk. She was I remember one of the lines is, well, boys will be boys. And so later, Sap, it was like, we're morphing this. She is trash. She is tough. She is not sweet. Like, we need to make her a little more rough. So we morphed it later.
Nice. Shout out to Sabbath for that right direction, and you all, you know what I mean, for taking that on. I know at least in the States, you are our OG cast, and will forever be. But Linda, let's talk about Frieza. My God, Frieza has transformed a lot in terms of the style of the voice. I mean, it's always been a similar character, but male, female, gruffer, like more feminine, and I think what your take on it was so cool because it had that, again, androgynous feel to it. You know, we didn't know what this entity, this creature, we didn't know what this creature was. Tell us a little bit about that early on, and them deciding to choose you to do, again, what is identified in the series as a male, but again, we're beyond all that kind of stuff, right? But you coming in at the time and sort of portraying this male character as a female voice.
Yes, well, I was the same way as Cynthia. When I came in to audition, I had to just mimic all these voices, the Canadian actors. And there were so many different characters. And I thought for sure I'd get like one of the kind of little kid sounding voices. Because that's what I usually did, because I was an actress and did voiceover and everything before. And then Chris Sabat called me and said, "Hey, Linda, you're going to do the part of Frieza." And I go, "Yay." Now, who's Frieza?
Right.
He told me all about Frieza, and I was like, "Really? That's the part?" And when I went in, they still had me do the voice similar to the Canadian actress, but I could add kind of a little dark humor and that to it, and the evil laugh, and it was just really a lot of fun. But I really had to learn how to do all the fighting and the shouts, because guys do that naturally, but
okay, everybody nodding their heads.
Ladies don't. Ladies don't do all that naturally. But Chris Sabat taught me, and he said I was as good as any man. So
there we go. So much. Oh, and that's like the biggest, I mean, some of the biggest parts of the series are the fight scenes. And I know there's like flaps that they talk about, but that's like a little different. But just to do those fight sound effects, oh my gosh, it's got to be so incredibly taxing. I want to talk about this is a question coming from Daniel Yanitz watching, because there's been so many sagas, right? So we've got the sagas of Dragon Ball, of Dragon Ball Z, obviously Super now. Was there a particular saga that stuck out to each one of you as your favorite saga to be a part of? So similarly, like we asked, like, what's your favorite storyline or, you know, your character arc? What was your favorite saga to shoot in the Dragon Ball universe? Whoever wants to take it first.
I liked the Cell Saga.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that just so much happened. Gohan grew up enough to be a big fighter and was able to go Super Saiyan. I thought Cell was a cool bad guy. They introduced a lot more human characters and stuff, and just there was a whole bunch of things going on at the same time. So Android Saga leading into Cell Saga was the one that I liked the best. not because of Roshi's participation or lack of in it. I just thought it was the most interesting part of Z anyway.
I really liked Cell as a bad guy too. He was
Yeah.
such a good villain.
Yeah.
I have to agree the most. That's the most feedback that I get as a voice actress, as far as the voice actor fans with Dragon Ball Z, that they really like my version of Gohan in the Cell Saga, and that definitely was more of the tough. Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I did a lot of screaming, and it was definitely more like that's the most I could get to Clint Eastwood as I could, with the voice acting and stuff. And there were 2 or 3 days a week sometimes, and there'd be like 2 or 3 months with nothing. But then all of a sudden, there was a lot of work to be done all at once, and it was very grueling. But at the same time, it was like, wow, I'm really transforming my voice to be like the most manly sound I can make, as Gohan in the Cell Saga. And a lot of the stuff that sells and people like the most is the Cell Saga Gohan, and that seems to be the one that makes the most difference with the fans. And so I'd have to say that right first and foremost is the teen. I say teen Gohan, I guess. I think he's only like 11. I feel like he's like a little older. He seems older when I'm talking about this.
He's a queen.
In training, Gohan.
Yeah. And that's like when he finally comes, it's like, don't mess with my friends. And he finally comes to this culmination of like, listen, I'm fighting back now. My dad's, all these people are like backing me. I'm done. This is it. It took him almost his whole, life as a kid to figure out, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to let this happen. So I'd say teen Gohan, definitely, before it becomes, Kyle Aber, he takes over kind of that Cell Saga stuff.
All right, that's two for Cell Saga so far. We got 4 left. Let's see what wins.
Oh, that's all right.
No, that's good. That's good. Linda.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't even know what my favorite saga would be.
The Frieza Saga.
I guess I could say my favorite form, Frieza form. The first form, Frieza, because that's how I got to know Frieza. And
yes, yeah.
Frieza was all about, but I also liked the last form, where Frieza was just really little and almost acrobatic, and kind of felt like me a little bit.
Yes,
I'm little. I'm really exercised
and cute.
Like,
yeah.
Cynthia, Chi-Chi, favorite moments as Chi-Chi? Sorry, Tiffany, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
I don't know. They all run in a blur. Chi-Chi is gone for several episodes and back. I really enjoyed it a lot when the kids were smaller, so I don't know. I'll just be honest, I don't know what saga was that. I don't. Just anytime that I got to get in there and play was my favorite saga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Tiffany, what did you start to say? You were reacting to Linda.
Well, I mean, kind of like what she's saying, like as far as like a saga goes, like the form, for me, when I get asked this question, I go back to like, of course I loved Dragon Ball because, it's the me show. Hey, it's all about blah, blah. But really, one of my favorite whole opportunities in the franchise that I was a part of was doing the history of Trunks.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of reasons for that, because I got to see her, I got to be more Bulma in a more grounded way. And John Bergmeyer, who is actually Linda Young's son, was the director for that. And working with him, I didn't really work with him a lot during the series, but during the movie and getting to really see a more grounded, mom version where she's just multi-dimensional Bulma instead of just this little, whoa, whiny, crazy, like getting left behind and, yelling at the guys or, chasing a boy down or trying to, flirt with Vegeta. I just felt like for me that movie was kind of one of my favorite moments in the however decade of work that I did.
Bulma's character arc is probably the most astounding when you see her from the very beginning. You know what I mean, with Goku, and then what she becomes as a mother and a scientist, and it's such a beautiful thing to see all the different ages. And we thank you, Tiffany, for portraying her throughout those different ages, because it was so awesome. Yeah, and you see the different cosplays throughout the years. You know what I mean? No offense to Goku and Vegeta, but you know they got their standard look. You know what I mean? But Bulma really progresses as a character. You know, and I think it's you did it so beautifully. So nice job.
Thanks.
Our Bruce, you obviously Ginyu is a part of the Frieza saga, and you kind of joked that he's only there for a few episode arc. But do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite besides those moments?
I was going to say, gee, this sounds like a really fascinating show. I guess I ought to start watching. Wow.
You can come over and watch it with my 4-year-old.
You have characters that like develop. I'm so impressed. Because Ginyu is.
I want to know the arc of Ginyu.
It's barely one-dimensional, you know.
There's a lot of episodes. It's a commitment. There's a lot of episodes. Yeah, a lot of.
Is I don't know. Is Ginyu part of a saga? Is there a saga section?
The Ginyu Saga.
Oh, okay. Well, there's my favorite saga right there.
There you go.
Right there. That's all the way back to the beginning.
It is. It's a frog and hops off. That's my favorite part. That's why.
Yeah. It's an internal saga within like a large, but yes, he has an arc. He has an arc for sure. We're almost out of time. My gosh, we could talk about Dragon Ball all night. So I want to get through a couple final questions from our fans really quickly, really fast from Ultra Ninja Plus Plus Ultra Ninja. Sorry, that's the better way to say it. Wants to know, if you could make a wish with the Dragon Balls, what would your wish be? It can be as you, as a person or a character. It doesn't matter. If you could make a wish with the Dragon Balls, what would your wish be? Whoever wants to take it first.
COVID never existed.
Good answer.
My mom was alive 21 years ago. I love her. Miss her. Wow.
Limitless wishes.
Unlimited wishes. Always a classic. Mike.
Oh, really good.
Linda, our Bruce, Cynthia, wish.
For Dragon Ball to never go away, and we just keep doing whatever and ever.
All the time.
Yeah, I like that. Our Bruce, what was yours?
New president.
Yeah.
I guess mine is just that my family stays healthy.
Oh.
Yay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And all you fans too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My gosh. I forgot to shut them out. Fans that are watching, I'm watching you right now on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. Shout out where you're watching from. I know we had the UK, the Netherlands, Brazil, across the country, obviously, Japan. Some folks are tuning in. So let us know where you're watching from. Last question for everyone. This is from Vanessa Rodriguez. Super sweet. Super Saiyan, super sweet. Your characters mean so much to so many people in the world. So Vanessa just wanted to say thank you so much for the characters that you're portrayed. Are there any characters out there, real or fantasy, that you all look up to? Let's do it one more time around the room, and then we'll kind of sign off after that. Characters or actors or just people in the world that you look up to. For
Carol Burnett.
Donna Summer. Donna Summer. Neil Diamond. Sorry, I'm a singer. I got to do the music thing. I'm a music person.
That's okay.
The 70s, ABBA.
Cruella DeVille.
Oh.
And can we make sure that we can give a shout out to our social medias before we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Mike, important influences in your life, character, like fantasy or real?
Captain America and Meryl Streep.
Good duo. That's a crossover we want to see. Cynthia, I think you shouted something out there. What did you say?
Yay!
Audrey Hepburn and Katharine Hepburn.
Oh, yeah.
I love them both, baby girl. Love them both.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, let's do, Tiffany, let's do one final shout out. Final words. Again, a lot of fans watching on 3 different platforms across the world. So final thing, anything you have upcoming, where people can find you, anything that you want to talk about. Let's just do one more round robin. If you will.
Yeah. So would love to be friends with all of you. I'm trying to get better at social media. I know it's really important, especially now that we can't be in touch with people. I'd love to be more virtual. So find me on any of my platforms at the OG Bulma on Facebook, Insta, Twitter. And I really can't wait to meet you guys and come to our one-on-one panels. And yeah, love around the world. I feel you. I feel your love. And let's just stay safe and keep your chin up.
Yay, Tiffany.
Thank you,
My
Tiffany.
Stephanie Nadolny fan page, Stephanie Nadolny voice actress on Facebook, Moonglass Band, that's my show band. Let's see what else. Oh, The Adventures of Ryan DeFreitas, which is at the where is that one?
I did a couple
American
of those.
Family Networks. American Family Networks. And then I'm also working with a new company that has my voice on Wonderbot. Wonderbot. It's on YouTube. And there's like lots of little videos of like mostly about animals and stuff like that. So that's going to be, say again, Wonderbot? Yeah, I'm voicing some of the articles that are available there. And that's, again, Wonderbot. 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 Sorry.
Don't Google Wonderbutt. You're gonna get a whole different webpage, everybody. A different webpage.
I know, right?
Wonderbot.
Oopsie.
Linda,
Yeah.
tell us where we can check you out.
Well, I finally joined Twitter now.
I know.
Just look me up, Linda Young, and Facebook and Instagram. And I'm trying to be okay at this social media stuff. I really like all you fans because you're the reason we're here.
Yeah.
And it's a nice family. I guess we can call it a family.
Yay.
Family.
But,
Good.
love you guys. And
Yay.
I will be
It's
glad to see
working.
you
My
in
Insta is
person
blowing up
again
right
someday soon, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Linda.
I love you, Linda.
Yay.
Love you too.
Hey, well, I just want to thank all of our fans for tuning in and for supporting us forever. You're the reason I even got on social media, and I can be found on Facebook, Cynthia Crayons, Instagram, Cynthia Crayons, Twitter @Cynthia Crayons, and I just can't wait to meet you guys in person when we can get out of our houses again.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay, Cynthia.
Our Bruce, tell the fans what you're up to.
What am I up to? I'm recording from my closet these days, which is really great. Thank you, Funimation, for making that possible. You let me borrow some equipment. Recording on case file number 221B Kabukicho, which is kind of cool. I'm a recurring character called Michelle, a detective. Been working on a show called Allegories for the last several years, which is a Bible-based show for kids where I play Professor Owlister.
Nice.
And he's a lot of fun. I am also a relatively new convert to Twitter. Thank you, Leah Clark, for helping me. My last con was in Australia, by the way, back in March. This is my next con.
Yeah.
And Leah Clark was also there in Australia and helped me get on Twitter for the first time. So I'm R. Bruce Elliott 1 on Twitter and R. Bruce Elliott on Facebook. And I'm always happy to welcome new fans and new followers. Love to see you. So thanks for being out there. Thanks for caring. It really helps. It really helps. Thanks a lot, everybody.
It does. We can't end, of course, but from the master himself, Master Roshi. Mike, what do you have to say to your fans? Yeah.
Much love and appreciation to everyone out there. Very much so. For years and years and years, it means a lot, and it keeps me going. You can find me on some social media, Twitter, Mike McFarland VA, Instagram, Mike McFarland VA. On Facebook, there's I think it's just Mike McFarland Fans, something like that. And then things to hear me on, currently My Hero Academia as Ojiro, and you can hear me on a series called Darwin's Game and the new Borderlands 3, and other stuff.
Oh man. Well, I speak on behalf of all the fans again watching on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube from around the world when we say thank you for all of your amazing portrayals of some of our favorite characters from the Dragon Ball universe and beyond. Obviously, the whole anime universe in general. We thank you. So thank you again. This has been, you all mentioned it, that we are so excited, and you are the best for your fans. You guys have been so awesome at physical conventions, and we can't wait to see you back in person. But right now, this is the best we got. And there's actually a lot of awesome connections happening and people that we're reaching and that you're reaching right now that could never make it to a convention because they're in a country that doesn't have them, or we've had a lot of people with physical disabilities that just can't make it to a convention. And I know, again, I'm just speaking on behalf of them when I say thank you all for giving us a nice little break here on this Saturday afternoon. So one more big round of emojis. Again, shout out to the fans that didn't get a chance to ask a question. Sarah, Brandon, you've got those one-on-one video chats, but let's hear one more big round of emojis for the voice cast of Dragon Ball Z, Ka, Super, Broly, all of them. I know I'm always missing one. Let's hear it one more time for Tiffany Ballmer, Stephanie Nadolny, Linda Young, Mike McFarland, R. Bruce Elliott, and Cynthia Kranz. Thank you all so much.
It's good to see my other fellow funny buddies.
Great to see all of you. Really great to see all of you.
Yay. You all can turn your cameras off here, exit this meeting, and take a nice little break. For the fans out there, just so you know, if you have that more specific question that you want to ask for a specific character, this was just a fun celebration of Dragon Ball as a universe. But I know you have specific questions for those specific folks. So if you have those, definitely purchase those one-on-one video chats. That's what those are all about. If you're able at this time, once in a lifetime experience to interact with some of your favorite actors from the Dragon Ball universe, to take advantage of that. Some other things going on. If you would like to get an autograph from these amazing folks, or a video recorded messages, if you're watching live or if you're watching later on in the week, those will be on sale throughout the week in addition to those one-on-one video chats. So take advantage of those at wizardworldvirtual.com. If you're looking for past signed memorabilia from Dragon Ball, from other awesome animes, head to the Wizard World Vault, wizardworldvault.com for all those fun items from our artists, our vendors. It's our best attempt at a convention floor digitally, so head there. And hey, we're doing all kinds of fun fan content. We had an art class with Victor Dangerous the other day. We've had fan trivia and fan panels. We had a DJ set, a Star Wars DJ set, a Marvel DJ set. We're going to have a DC Universe themed DJ set coming up from DJ Washburn. But tonight, for the very first time, featuring two of our favorite professional cosplayers, Night Mage and Baby Alkaid, we are going to be doing a Dragon Ball cosplay contest in 1 hour's time. This is your final call. We're going to be cutting off submissions, and then we'll be taking a look and inviting the finalists to an awesome half-hour celebration of all the amazing cosplay out there. All streaming live, all streaming free to you. Our top winner will get signed prints from the entire cast that was here today on this Dragon Ball call. So we thank them for donating that. We thank Chris Woodard of Conventions Inc. for helping us out with that. And we are going to be doing that cosplay contest with Tiffany and Cynthia. They're coming back to help judge, so we're excited to have them back. But in the meantime, definitely take advantage of those one-on-one video chats with all 6 of these amazing actors. We're going to take tomorrow off. Happy Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there, or those folks that would love to be fathers in different capacities, whether you take care of kids or you help kids out in different capacities. Shout out to all the dads out there. But we would also like to remind you that on Monday, we'll be speaking to the cast of the One Chicago World. So Chicago MD, PD, what I'm missing, Med. We'll be talking to them, as well as some of the folks from Legacies. And then continue to follow us at Wizard World on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to check out all of the amazing panels we have coming up each and every week, streaming completely free to you to the safety of your home. My name is Mike G. I'm your regular host. We're trying to work a lot of other hosts into the mix. You can follow me at Mike G Does Things to submit your questions. It's been a pleasure. Happy Saturday night, everybody, and we will see you next time. Peace out, all.